guys, and welcome to Cooking with Fat Julie, where I share tips and tricks in the kitchen as well as quick and easy recipes. Today I'm going to show you how to make custard. To make my custard, I've got some milk and vanilla in a saucepan, which I'm going to heat up until it's warm, but I don't want it to boil. And then in a separate bowl, I have some eggs, sugar, and cornstarch. Now I'm going to beat those up and leave them set aside. I'm making a half a recipe because I don't need very much, but I will put the full recipe below in the description. I'm using 2 full eggs, but you can use 4 egg whites if you prefer to do it that way. It won't have that same rich yellowish color, but if you want to use only egg whites instead, you can just use 2 egg whites for every 1 egg. I'm going to let my milk heat up, and then I'm going to show you what happens next. What you're looking at here is my egg mixture. My milk is nice and hot. It's steaming, but it's not boiling. The recipe says to whisk it slowly into my egg mixture while continuing to whisk it. Since I don't have a balloon whisk, I'll be using my trusty fork, and hopefully I won't get too much in the way of the camera here so you can see what's going on. So I'm just adding that in. The cornstarch or cornflour is what's going to thicken your custard. So if you want it really thin, like an English custard, then don't put in as much cornstarch. If you want it really thick, then add a little bit more cornstarch. And there you go, that's what that looks like. It is not thick yet. I need to heat it up for that. At this point, I'm going to slowly pour my mixture back into my saucepan, which is still on a medium-low heat. And I am going to, yep, you've guessed it, whisk it continuously because I don't want it to stick to the bottom. I want it to thicken up. And I want mine fairly thick, so I really want to make sure it sticks to the fork. Right now, you can see it's not really sticking to the fork. You'll see the difference when it's done. Now custard can be served hot, so once you've finished it, you can just pour it into little bowls and serve it. Or you can chill it. So you're going to want to chill it in the fridge for at least 2 hours. If you don't want the skin that kind of forms on top, then you just place some plastic wrap over top and make sure that plastic wrap is touching your custard. I'm going to let mine cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to throw it into a Ziploc bag because I'm going to turn that Ziploc bag into a piping bag in a few hours and pipe it into my puff pastry cones. So I'm going to stand here for I'm not sure how many more minutes and continue to stir this as it thickens, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. I've been whisking non-stop, and I can tell that my custard has thickened up. You can see that when I run my fork through it, but you can also see that when I hold it up like this. Oh, it's starting to boil, so I'm going to pull that right off the heat. I do not want it to boil. So I'm just going to stir that a little bit more here so that hopefully it will help it cool off. I'm going to let that cool off a little bit, put it in a Ziploc bag, and store it in the fridge for at least 2 hours so that it cools down. And then I'm going to pipe it into, oh, my camera's steaming up. Then I'm going to pipe it into my pastry cones, which I will show you. And here are my custard-filled cones. Let me know how yours turn out in the comments below. And bon appetit!